My name is Sylvie Tetrault, sports nutritionist, and this is Chef Tommy, and we are here with the Canadian Bison Association, and today we are going to cook
Bison Shepherd's pie. So we obviously are gonna need ground bison for today. We got our onions, we got our garlic, we got some tomato paste here. We're actually gonna make this a little bit saucy. So we have a little bit of flour to thicken our bison broth. We have a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We have fresh herbs, rosemary, thyme, and parsley. Then we have some corn, and we have a little bit of pea and carrots. So your basic, typical shepherd's pie, if you will. But again, because we're using bison, we're gonna throw a spin on it and call it a bison farmer's pie. Olive oil, we'll start with that a little bit, okay? We're gonna saute the onions first, just to kind of get that caramelization going, sweeten up those onions a little bit, it'll taste a lot better. We're gonna salt that up. As we add in more layers, we're also gonna add in a little more salt as we go along.
Yeah, so why are we choosing bison? So coming from a sports nutritionist perspective, bison is one of our favorite meats to work with because it is a lean protein, which dealing with professional athletes, any athletes in general, they're looking for a good alternative to lean protein. So bison is amazing because it's high in protein, high in some of our minerals that we need, especially for people who are active. So it has high iron levels, which is incredibly important for athletes because it's what helps with actual oxygen transport to working muscles. And we're always looking for that when we think about, just getting a good quality protein. We want to make sure we're getting the most out of that in terms of a nutrient profile. So our go-to is always bison.
So now we can add our ground bison. Here we go. And then again, it's best to season in when it's raw.
Yeah, you can see the rich color of it as well.
Yes, beautiful red. And it doesn't get fresher than this. It's really exciting for me as a chef to put bison on a menu, and because it's somewhat different. I guess in the North American culture, we're so used to the beef and the chicken. So it's also nice to kind of use game, and in our case, bison.
Yeah, and you mentioned just the traditional farming methods, like bison still uses those traditional methods, which is incredibly important when you're thinking about nutrition, is knowing just where your food came from and how it was raised.
For sure, and also like when the animal is getting its natural habitat and eating its natural ways, then it also will reflect in the flavor of the meat after too.
So in terms of a taste profile, I think it tastes pretty similar to beef, but it actually is way more rich in flavor because it's a leaner option. There's about a quarter less fat than there would be in your traditional beef that you get in the store. So in terms of a lean protein that you're looking for, it has a ton of flavor. So overall, it's so versatile too.
Big time.
You can literally substitute it with any recipe that you're using, beef or any ground meat.
Exactly. Even for a family who just wants to eat a little healthier and a little more diversity in as far as the proteins that they're eating, right? I mean, I could serve this to my kid and he wouldn't even know that that's bison. He would think that it's just beef. So a good one for parents to kind of, get into their kids' diets as well.
Yeah, and anything. Like I said, it's so versatile, making sure that they're getting all the nutrients we talked about. Yeah, energy levels is a huge one with most people, and I can't talk enough about the benefits of the iron and B vitamins for energy that are in bison.
So our onions are now cooked. Our ground bison is looking really good. It's not clumpy, it's all cooked out. So we're gonna add a little bit of garlic right now, about a tablespoon to that. I mean, you can add as much garlic as you'd like. So we're gonna go with some Worcestershire sauce now. That's always
That's how you say that.
Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
Yeah, that's how I said it.
Yeah.
But again, when you just read it, it's not.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister there. So we're gonna cook that out. Now I have a gluten-free flour here. And again, this is kind of like almost similar to making a pot pie, where we're gonna build the sauce with the meat filling, okay? So with flour, you just kind of want to cook that out for a minute. Takes away the starchiness of it, and it also helps to digest it as well, and you cook it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now after the flour is cooked out here, we're just gonna add a little bit of tomato paste to this. Okay. Then we have our bison broth here, which is gonna be the final addition to making the sauce there. So that should thicken up in a few minutes once it catches up to all that flour.
It smells so good.
Just wait till the herbs go in there.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
Okay, so here we go. Now we have our vegetable part to it. So we have our peas and carrots, which
Very versatile.
yeah, and I mean frozen is okay in this one here. Then we have our corn kernels here. We're gonna also add that. And then lastly, we'll add our fresh herbs. So again, we have parsley, thyme, and rosemary.
So good.
Yeah. So guys, that's basically our meat filling here, okay? We're good to go. Then I'm gonna basically add that to our casserole dish. Excuse the mess. You can't make dinner without making a mess, right? Okay, so now we're gonna work on the potato part of this dish, which is the final part and which we're gonna be topping the meat filling with. Basically, I like using, it's kind of like a potato ricer. Just gives it a nice smooth texture. I think that should be good. So, get to the last drop. So we'll put that there. Potatoes just came off the boil, so it's nice and hot. Helps with melting some butter. So we're gonna go in right away with some butter. Okay. We have some milk here. For this recipe, I'm just using milk.
You could do an oat milk or a nut milk, any dairy-free alternative when it comes to the milk.
Yep, that was a little bit of Parmesan cheese, again, for a little bit more flavor. So in the meantime, guys, when you're making this, you can preheat your oven to about 400 degrees so that when you get to this point, your oven is good to go. Into our pan. Go from edge to edge, making sure you get all the corners. Okay, so now to complete the dish, we have the oven set at 400, and we're going to cook this for about a half an hour, okay? We've now reached about a half an hour now in the oven at 400, so we're looking good and hot here. Oh yeah, we got the bubblies. So we'll sit that down to just add a little drizzle of olive oil and just make it look pretty by adding a little bit of fresh thyme. And then I'll let it sit just like that for 15 minutes before we dig in. So the pie is now cooled off. It's ready to serve. We've waited, and now it's here.
Perfect.
We have our
We
shepherd's
get
pie.
to try it.
Yeah.
All right.
So again,
Let's
after
dig
you.
in. It smells and looks so good.
Careful, might be hot.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? I like a good corner piece.
Oh, that's so good.
This is the crust.
Mm-hmm. The potatoes with the bison and the fresh herbs, so good. I'll definitely be eating.
Really good. Yeah, that's really nice.
So nice.
Thank you so much for following along with us while we made these recipes. Follow us along with Canadian Bison Association in order to get more information and more delicious recipes.